This is a guide for Vodka and Uma Musume Pretty Derby. I'm going to show you how to win career with her, ways to build PvP, spark farming with her, basically everything you need to know about this character. So right away we can tell that she runs mile and medium races. You can confirm this by going to the career info, looking through all the races. She mainly runs mile and medium. And then there's one long, but she doesn't have to win it. She doesn't have to do anything. She just has to run in it. So unless you want to build some crazy thing just for the memes, that race is just last place no matter what, because she has an F in long, and you need insane sparks to bring that up from F to even like C or B or something. So because she's a mile and a medium racer, you are going to need stamina, but not as much as a long racer. I would say, it's hard to say exactly, but by the end of the first summer, you probably want like at least 300 stamina, ideally. And obviously more is better. And then by the end of the second summer, you probably want 400 to 500 stamina, depending on what skills you have and stuff. Like if you have Hydrate and Gorman and stuff, maybe you get 400 and it's fine. I'm not sure exactly. She also has an A in late, B in pace, C in front. You could bring front to an A, but I don't really recommend it. But you could. You can bring pace to an A if you prefer to have it run at pace, or you can just try to get sparks for late. It really just depends on what sparks you have and what kind of sparks you're building and stuff. And also, if you're doing a sparks run, you don't have a whole lot of control over that because you're trying to take sparks that are already 3-star that might not have pace or late, trying to build something. So it just depends on what you're building and stuff. You're going that route. But if you are building PvP, you're going to want to get either pace or late. I'd probably late up to S rank using sparks. So that way you just run faster. Turf to S also would be nice, and mile or medium, whatever slot you're going to put it into for PvP. PvP stats, the end goal is probably stamina 600 at least. Obviously more is always better. And then with as much speed with that as you can, then power. So something like, say, 11 to 1200 speed with 600 stamina, 5 to 700 stamina, we'll say, and then like 800, 900 power or something along those lines. Like that's a pretty solid PvP setup for Vodka. Now, obviously, you've all level 50 support cards and have crazy sparks, and maybe your goal is 1200 speed, 800 stamina, 1200 power, and like 400 wit or something like that. But, you know, most of you are going to be there for a long time. Then if you go to the details, she has growth rate plus 10% for speed and plus 20% for power, which is kind of interesting because if you farm her power up to 1200 using power friendship, that will by coincidence get your stamina up to, 600 or something like that. The issue with that is that if you're also getting speed, which you have to, that'll also get your power up. And then you'll end up in a scenario where, say, you have like 800, 900 speed, and you've been training power, and you have like 800, 900 power, because speed was also giving you power. By the time you get to 800 to 900 power, you're only going to have like 200 to 300 stamina instead. So you may have to run stamina here. You may have to run some weird mixed support cards. I'll run through the options, though. First, let's look at legacies. So with legacies, you can always go in here and go for filters and look for whatever you want. I'm just going to see real quick these ones I have sitting right here. We have pace up to A. So this one will probably be good. I'll put this one up to get pace up to A, and also is late surger 3. So it might just inherit on the inspiration late S if we're lucky. Then we have this one over here, which I'm just throwing on because it's 3-star spark, and I'm hoping... I'm basically going for a sparks run. I mean, if I get an A or something, that'd be cool, but my main goal would be sparks run. So for a sparks run, it'd be, 600 speed, 600 stamina, 600 power. That way, if it rolls any of those, you have a 50-50 chance of a 2-star and a 5% chance of getting a 3-star. That's kind of the goal. If you take any to 1100, if you don't already know, 1100, you have a 80% chance of 2-star and 10% of 3-star. I think that's how it was, or maybe it was 70 and 10. But yeah, so, just try to get those stats up. Before Vodka, if you are going to try to get power speed and go for 1200 speed, 1200 power with however much stamina, hope it's enough stamina, which is rough because it's medium races, you will definitely want 3 different power cards. I don't know exactly which ones would be the best right this second. I'll throw 3 random ones on, but you would want 3 power cards, 3 speed cards. Obviously, it's high levels. You wouldn't want this level 1 on here. I have to go level this up, but that would work, but that's going to be a hard career for you. But if you're trying to build PvP, you might get lucky with a good build at some point of like 500 stamina and then 1200 or something. That'd be like the dream run. But realistically, what would be safer if you're just trying to complete the career would be to make one of these be a stamina card, and then you have stamina, speed, 3 speed, and 2 power would probably be good. You definitely want the power, though, because she has 20% power gains. So you really just want enough stamina to beat the stamina check. But, I mean, you could also run 2 stamina with 1 power. And you could try running a wit in here somewhere, but it just depends on which way you want to do it. Like, you could try with her, and actually this wouldn't be unreasonable. You could put on 2 stamina and then 1 power, or 2 stamina and whatever your best wit is. If you have good enough cards that, you know, you can make room for the wit, and it's, you know, wit. A lot of people like doing the wit. I'm not a big fan of it, but like if you have really good support cards and good sparks, then you'll have enough stats left over that it makes more sense, because wit saves you some resting, but then gets you some wit, which makes your runner more consistent in the races. That's basically what wit effectively does. And so if you have 1 wit, it's like, yeah, you'll save some energy, yeah, you'll get some wit, but you'll lose an insane amount of training because you won't get the training up to level 5 for a lot of these. So it's a trade-off. But if your cards are good, your sparks are good, you'll get there anyway. So you might as well get 500 wit or something while you're at it. But if you're not super endgame, then I don't like it personally, but it's up to you. And I guess one other option you could do actually is you could run 4 speed and 2 stamina, and this will get you the stamina that you need. But then it'll also allow you to easily get 1200 speed. This could be good for some sparks runs and just getting like through the career pretty easily, because your goal would be get the speed over 1100. So if you get the speed spark, there's a higher chance of getting a good one. And then hopefully that'll get your power up to 600. And then you also, if you're lucky, you can also get your stamina to 600 as well with this. And I just think running 4 speeds is honestly just a really fun thing to do. But it just depends on what you're trying to build and what your goal is. The power is not as important, though she is a late surger, so that's going to hurt early game to not have a lot of power. But I'm just going to run this and just see how it goes. I just think it's really fun to run this, and I'm not really too concerned about how it ends up as long as we beat the career. But a lot of those different options, as long as you play the career correctly, they'll get you through the career, generally speaking. So those sparks gave 38 speed, 17 power, 5 wit. They aren't insanely good sparks. They're just pretty whatever sparks, but it's still nice. Better than having terrible ones. All right, so at the beginning, here's what we need to do. We need to get mood degrade as soon as possible if we can ever make room for it. In the training, we only want to do speed or stamina whenever we can help it. So the way it's going to work is, see how we have 1 on speed, 1 on stamina, and there's 2 on power. I would instead just do a speed or a stamina at that point. But if there were 3 on power for these friendships, then I would do that instead of the 1 on speed or 1 on stamina. That's kind of the priority level to me. That tends to work better because we need to get speed level 5, stamina level 5, so you don't want to be jumping around all over the place just to get your friendships. It's much better just to go ahead and try to level up these and only get it if it's really extreme. But also another thing here, and I hate to do it at full energy, is I only have 1 on stamina, 1 on speed, 2 on power. This is the perfect kind of turn in the early game to do the recreation, to try to get your mood to great, because a lot of these cards that I picked, they have the mood effect. So like this one adds up 45% of mood effect, which means my great, instead of giving 20%, it'll give like 29% additional stats. And a bunch of the cards I have mood effect on them. Mood effect's a great stat to get, so specialty priority. Specialty priority is more important, honestly. But so what we want to do is we want to get this to great. So I'm going to do recreation this turn, which just sucks on full energy, because recreation has 66% chance of giving you 1 mood up and 10 energy, and it has a 33% chance of giving 2 mood at once with the karaoke. So we're just going to hope I get the karaoke. And I did not get the karaoke. So I only got the mood, and I didn't get any energy because I was already full energy. And so not ideal. And then I got an event for energy on top of that, so that's unlucky. But whatever, at least we're in a good mood now. We get some more stats. The earlier we can get our mood up, the bigger effect it's going to have, because already now it's going to be an extra 2 or 3 stats per training, or probably 1 or 2, maybe 3. And then if it was at grade, it'd be like an extra 3 to 4 stats per training. So over 10 turns, it's like 30, 40, 50 stats just by getting the great mood. So it does pay for itself within 10 turns. So, but also events can give it to you as well. So it's just like it's hard to know for sure which way you should do. You just kind of gotta make your best judgment based on the options you have. So we got 3 friendships on the speed. That was great. There were 2 on stamina. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritize stamina whenever it's like a dead even thing as much as possible. Oh, we got lucky. We got mood up the great with a random event. That's perfect. But we want to focus stamina whenever it's, kind of a neutral choice between these two, because we have 4 speed cards. So in the long run, we will be getting way more speed. So we just want to get as much stamina as possible. It's hard to get it to 600. We probably won't be able to get it to 600, but you never know. Also, here's an example of what I was talking about. 0 on speed, 1 on stamina, but then there's 4 on wit plus Director Akikawa. So of course I'm going to do wit. Like, that's where it's like, okay, these friendship trainings are worth it. We want to get these to orange for friendship trainings. Also, if you don't know, Director Akikawa, we don't go out of our way for this friendship, but if you get it to max, she'll give you plus 15 stats at the end of the career if you beat it. So I don't really go out of my way for it, but it could help me make a decision if I'm on the fence between two different trainings based on the ratios of who's available on the training and stuff. So now this one, we got stamina with 3 with a hint, so that's amazing. That's what we want. And now we're out of turn where there's 1 on speed, 1 on stamina, 2 on power. Nothing crazy. And we're out of energy, which is the point I say in everyone's videos. We're at 7% failure. Generally, you don't want to do if it's over 10%. It's like risking your career. But if it's an insane reward, feel free to risk your career. Like if it was 5 on speed with 4 friendships and it was plus 60 speed, but I'm at 18% failure, yeah, I might just risk my entire career on it. Like, screw it. It's such a big reward. I've done it before, and I failed. I've done it before and succeeded. So you just have to make those judgment calls. Just know it's a giant risk because it'll put your mood down and potentially give you an illness you have to go deal with. So it can be rough. Now I've got a really weird turn. There's 1 on speed, 1 on stamina. There's 2 on guts with a skill hint. And it's like, yeah, kind of be smart to do this one, especially the skill hints on Kita-san Black. But I could also just rest, and it would kind of overkill the rest. So it's like a tough choice. I really feel like there's no winning on this choice, to be honest. I'm just going to do the guts one. Like, I was really on the fence. I literally paused the recording for like 30 seconds to think. That was just a really, I don't know, that choice. They were all kind of dead even there. So you just got to make the best choice you can. Everything's a gamble and just hope for the best. So the gamble paid off. There's nothing crazy on this turn to train. And even if there was, the failure rate, well, the failure rate would have been 25. I wouldn't have done it. But so then I can rest right before the debut. And that worked out. I made the right choice, but it's just hard to know, man. It's just really hard to know what the right choice is sometimes in those scenarios. So now we can go in here, look at our skills. There's really nothing I can get that's great. I would like to get straightaway recovery, but we're going to have tons of stamina. Triumphant Pulse would be nice. We're going to slightly decrease the velocity of pace chasers late race. And maybe that will help her pass them when she doesn't have a lot of power. Who knows? And now we're going to go into this debut and just know I don't have a lot of speed, so the chance of getting second place in the debut is actually pretty high. I only have 200 speed. So even though, like, if you look at this and you look at the number 2 favorite doesn't even have 100 stats in anything, basically. And then we look at me, and it's all over 100. I would tell you right now, it's only like an 80% chance of first place. For whatever reason, the debut, don't be surprised if it's like, and second place. But I didn't get second place, so that's great. But don't be surprised if it does. And if it does, I would say this, you just lost a turn. That's it. You have to do a maiden race, so just think of it as -1 turn on your run. There's plenty of things that can happen that can give you -1, and that's one of the things that can happen that gives you -1 turn. Now we got 10 turns till the next race. Again, we're just training speed and stamina as much as possible the whole time. There's no crazy races we need to do. The first G1 is the race in 10 turns, so we're just going to work towards it, training and get what we get. During the career, eventually you want to memorize as many events as you can. You can look them up, but it's a pain to go look them up every single event that pops up. It could take you like 5 hours to do a career doing that. But for example, Twin Turbo has this event, and if I say hold back for now, I get a bunch of free energy. So energy is the main thing I'm after during any of those events. If you know, though, instead of like you want to avoid guts, or maybe you want stamina, it depends on what you're needing. Like sometimes I know them well enough to know, oh, this one will give me stamina, and I'm running a setup where I need stamina bad, then I'll pick that. So just keep an eye out for that stuff. And wow, look at this training. If only we had friendship. 3 would be 3 friendships and a stamina, and we'd have Atsuko on here. That would have been insane. But hey, good thing we're in great mood. We get plus 31 speed this early on. That is a lot to get this early. And speaking of energy events, almost everyone has an event like this. It's basically, do I eat a lot or do I eat less? This event is the same for everybody, and the basic thing is, if you do it, you get 30 energy, and there's like a 1 in 7 chance or something of getting the slow metabolism debuff that could ruin your career. Or it'll be max energy, I guess. I don't know. I think mainly gives normal energy, but I guess sometimes it gives max energy. But it's worth the risk because the odds are very low of getting the sickness. But if you do, it can be really bad. One time I lost a run because it gave me... I'm going to rest. Oh, God, I want to train this, actually. I'm taking the 7%. Hopefully it doesn't fail. I failed on 7 before. Okay. But I lost a run with the slow metabolism before I got it, and then went to the infirmary 3 times in a row before it got rid of it, and I lost 4 turns because of it, basically. So it was pretty bad. So now we got this weird event. I don't want to do it. I skip it because I'm having a good run, and if you do it and it goes bad, I forget what it does, but it really messes you up super bad. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you're having a horrible run and you're just hoping it'll somehow save it. And now it's time for our first race. So we're going to go. We can't afford Triumphant Pulse. Not really anything we can't afford, so we don't need any more skills. We're going to go into this race, the G1 mile, and our stats are pretty decent, actually. Let's take a look. We're at 369 speed, almost 200 stamina. And the number 2 favorite has a lot less. So if we lose, it's just stupid, honestly. Okay, we're good. Definitely could have lost, though. I've had it happen. But yeah, we were definitely like 90% chance to win, in my opinion. So immediately after that race is another G1 race. So if you're building sparks, you want to beat as many of these as you can, because everyone you beat gives you a chance of getting white sparks on the legacy at the end. Also, the G1s give you the most skill points, so you also get the most skill points if you're building PvP. So it's a tough choice to make. It's up to you. And also, each G1 that you beat gives +3 affinity for the legacy when you're using it as a parent for another run. So that can also help to get the double affinity circle and get more stats. So consider running these. And you can also weigh the choice against what your training options are. So I don't have any training options that are like crazy here. And this one is a really good one. I looked it up on Game Tora. And this one is speed and stamina spark. So white sparks give stats, and it gives speed and stamina if I get this. So I am going to go for it. I'm going to see if there's any skills to buy first. I could buy something in here, but I'd rather save up for the Triumphant Pulse, I guess. And none of those applied to this race anyway, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run this. I don't know if I'll win or not, but you know what? There's no good training this turn. I mean, yeah, there's some okay training, but... Also, I want to look at this because some of these optional races, man, I swear they're cursed, and you just lose even when you should win. So, look at that. All 170 across the board, and we have 370, 200, 240, and then Guts and Wit almost the same. If we don't win, it's just stupid. Look at that. Look at that. 15th. 15th. Dude, this is what I was talking about. I've talked about this in every video. Dude, there's nothing you could... These optional races, just know they are... Like, they have designed something in these optional races to make them like twice as likely for you to lose than a normal like career race. Because I see this all the time when I'm running. Like I'll literally have double the stats of the next person, and it's like a 50-50 that I get first is what it feels like. So don't be surprised that happens. But if you want the sparks, you got to go for it and hope that the game's just gonna be kind to you. But that it just happens way too much. It's so obnoxious. Also, at the end of every year, we have one of these events, and I don't even. Honestly, this one is so... One of these is heal, and one of these is give you stats. I have no idea which one it is for this character. Is it this one? Nope, I picked the wrong one. It was the middle one. That was speed. Well, I missed out on the energy. The other one was the energy. Actually, I just couldn't remember what it was for this character. But, yeah, if you do one of them, it gives like 20 to 30 energy. So always do that one if you're missing energy. If you're not, then do like the bottom one for skill points or something. Now it's time for the next career race. We're going to get this Triumphant Pulse. Hopefully, that'll help us out somehow in the calculations for the race. So this one is just a mile. So this is good. A mile's good. Well, mile's not as good because we don't have a lot of power. But again, like we should win. The number 2 is just not that great. Although we're not that far ahead, so it wouldn't be that surprising. But if we got 16th, it would be just stupid. But we got first. After that race, it's just back-to-back race. You got one turn. In my case, I got a rest. We get inspiration before the next race, though. So for this inspiration, we'll hopefully get some good stats. It's a little bit random, but... based on the sparks we had, it should be decent. So let's see. We got 24 speed, 23 power, 4 wit, and 2 hints for hydrate. So not super great, but hey, we'll take it. It's all right. We could get this target in sight one, but I'm not going to go for it. At least not yet. It makes it so if the number 1 favorite to win, it uses the same as us, we get a bonus. I wonder if that makes me get a bonus if I'm the number 1 favorite to win. I never thought about that till just now. But anyway, so we're going to use the turf mile run, and we are the number 2 favorite this time. So this might be like a run killer moment, because this race is where it's like the hardest I don't know, it's the hardest checkpoint basically for this run. So we got first, but if I got through it at all, I'd be happy. Although I don't know what position I need. I don't know if I need it first or what. Also, my game broke and the screen just went white. I wonder if it'll recover from this. So the game crashed or kicked me out. I had to relog, but luckily it kept the result. That would have been so annoying if it kicked me out, put me back in, and then had to do the race, put me in last. I've had that happen actually once, but thankfully it didn't happen. So Vodka kind of just has back-to-back races. Like, we get 2 turns, and then we got the next one. Then we get a little bit of a break. But yeah, she just gets slammed at this part of the career. We're just race after race after race, basically. And already we're at the next race. This one's a medium. This one's scary, dude. This is like might also be a run killer moment if your stamina's not high enough, which my stamina is not high enough, which is a problem. I don't know, trained too much speed and just didn't get a lot of options for the stamina. But the stamina, here's what's stupid, okay? So if we lose this, just keep this in mind. 235 stamina on the number 1 favorite. We have more than that, but the stamina check doesn't care. If this race needs 250, this race needs 300, it doesn't matter what the other people have. You'll just lose anyway most of the time. So hopefully this is high enough for what the stamina check is. I haven't done this career enough to know for sure what it is here, but hopefully it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine at all. But thankfully we only need a 5th. I guess 300 stamina probably would have been safer. Alternatively, if you had like 250 wit, it might be fine, because wit makes your stamina more effective. Effectively what wit does. So that also could work. Or if you had hydrate or gourmand skills, something to deal with it. But yeah, you probably, if you don't have any skills and don't have anything else, any wit, you want probably 300 stamina at this point in order to make that a little more consistent. And now we're coming up on summer. It's always best if you can to start summer with full energy. So it's a good second to evaluate how's it going so far. So far, I would rate this run like a 4 out of 10 on luck. The training has been pretty terrible. I was only able to get, I think, 4 friendships up. I mean, there's 2 of them that are almost there. But the friendships were terrible, and one of the reasons is the training was kind of terrible. And there's just been a few different things here and there that have not been great. Maybe it's a 5 out of 10, I don't know. But we'll see how the summer goes. So my first turn, I can't even get this friendship up with this training. And so speed would be the safer bet. At least I get the friendship training, get 30. Better than not having friendship training at all. This turn, I didn't have the friendships up for these, so unfortunately I don't get those. But I'll do it in order to get the one friendship up in case we get her on speed the next turn. And then Kita-san Black is the only friendship, but at a 15% failure, I'll rest and I'll rest to see for the next turn instead. This event, I always click the top option for everybody, which is power. The other one, I think, is wit. And now that paid off. I got lucky with that, and we get 2 speeds now, plus 50 and plus 28. So that was good. I would say that was one of the best summers I've had in any of these career run videos that I've done. That one was probably like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. I'm not sure. I won't say 6 out of 10 on luck. Most of the time I get so unlucky and it's like 3 out of 10 luck. It's like super bad. So that was actually a pretty decent summer. I'm pretty happy about that. Now it's time for the next race, and unfortunately I got such good options for training speed. I couldn't even make myself train stamina. I'm at 670 speed. Like, we're doing great. The problem is we're at a scary amount of stamina. So we're gonna get this thing for recovering stamina. Hopefully that will make a difference. Actually, instead of that one, we're gonna get hydrate. It's a little more, it's more consistent, I feel like. And then I'm not going to get anything else because I'm going to save the remaining skill points to get the other skill in case we continue to not be able to get stamina, just as a precaution. But even then, this is kind of sketchy. I'd really like to have more than 300 stamina by this point, like 350 maybe or something, just to be safe. But just to see how broken it is, the favorite has 280, and we have 270. So... oh, I haven't even done this. Oh my god, I forgot this character. I never finished her career before, so let's go ahead and finish her career for the first time on this video. All right, so let's just watch one for once and see how this goes. I don't usually watch them. This is actually the only time I've watched it on one of these videos, but a lot of times if you do watch them, you might be able to see the problem. I play enough though that I don't need to see I already know what the problems are when it's estimating it, but sometimes if you watch this, you can see. So yeah, now we're at the end. She's just pushing through. She has enough power to break through. She has enough top speed to get the speed. She's just good. That's where speed comes in play. She had enough power to be able to pass, and then she had enough speed that once she's got the power boost to get going, she had enough speed to get way ahead of everyone, like super fast and just fly past. So that's why speed's so important, but also why power's so important when you are a late chaser. I think that's what it's called. Now Vodka gets a huge break. So it's November. We don't have the next race is in May. So like a couple weeks, a couple turns before the summer. Because this next race is not a race. It doesn't matter what position you come in. It's just the same thing no matter what. So we just got unlucky with a mood down, unfortunately. I'm just going to hope that it comes back up from an event. But if I see any turns where there's just nothing to train, then I'll get it up. But yeah, here's the race that doesn't matter. You don't even need to worry about buying skills unless you were crazy and got a bunch of sparks to where you could win this race. Otherwise, you're just going to get last place. Because when you have F in any proficiency, it reduces your stats by like 80 or 90%, something like that. So I basically had like 50 stamina, 70 speed, or whatever it was, something like that in that race. And now this time on the second one, you need more fuel. I think that's the food one. Yep, they were at 25 energy. Big win there, like a free turn. Thankfully, I got lucky. I got a mood up event just now before I hit the record button again. So we're back up to great. So, I mean, it's going pretty good. It's a pretty decent career. It's not horrible. Now we got an interesting turn. There's nothing good to train. And there's a G1 race I can run. So let's go ahead and buy up some good skills here. I have enough stamina now that it doesn't really matter as much getting the stuff for stamina, but I don't know, it could make a difference. So I'll get straight away recovery, and then I could get this competitive spirit one. It's honestly, a competitive spirit is really good. It's not as good for the URA finales, because if you don't have a lot of wit, you'll be like number 8 favorite to win, but or not, it's not favorite to win, it's about the, never mind, I forget, I'm getting this mixed up with something else. But yeah, this one, if you're running Pace Chaser or Late Surger, then this one will give you a huge boost of stats, basically, because those ones very often have 5 people running in them. Not always. There's a little bit of luck to it, but it's a pretty consistent stat boost skill. So if you need more stats, it's a pretty good skill to get. So now we're the number 5 favorite to win. I'm pretty sure that's just because of Wits and Gut, but maybe not. Oh, yeah, it's just Wits and Guts. Our number 2 has 250 stamina. 250 stamina. Meanwhile, we have 350. We have almost double the power, and we have, like, triple the speed. So I just want to show you guys, because we'll probably get first, and we don't get first. Look at that. Look at how broken that is. So don't be surprised when it happens to you. This game is just completely stupid, okay? This game is super, super stupid about these optional races. I literally had triple the speed, 1.5 times the stamina, double the power, and I got 9th place. It is so stupid, guys, and it literally happens all the time. It is... Oh, I could just rant about it for an hour. But anyway, here comes the inspiration. Hopefully we get some good stats from this. So, we'll see. Let's see what we get. We're going to get 39 speed, 8 power. So that was really awful. Even for my Sparks, that was pretty bad. The speed was kind of nice, though. Also, I got unlucky. I got this thing, and so I need to pay 50 skill points to remove the standard distance thing. And then other than that, I don't really have anything crazy about getting... I still just can't get over that race that we lost. We literally... It should realistically be like a 99% chance to win that race, but because it is an optional race, it's like a freaking 30% chance to win no matter what your stats are. That's what it feels like, at least. But yeah, so now we're at the next actual career race right before summer. This one, we're the number 1 favorite to win across the board. If we don't win, it's just completely rigged. Yeah, there we go, first place. The next race is a mile, obviously on turf. Number 1 favorite to win again. If we don't win, it's kind of crazy. Okay, we got second. Wow. All right, well, we didn't need first for that one, but hey, it happens. That's what alarm clocks are for if we would have needed first, unfortunately. Summer starts next turn, but I'm going to take the guaranteed 34 speed this turn. That's a great roll, because you never know. Summer could just be awful all 4 weeks in a row. So first week of summer this time, we get stamina or we can get speed. And I'm kind of in a tough position here because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get... I don't think I'm going to be able to get 1100 speed, 600 stamina, 600 power on this run, because there's just been... You guys haven't seen all of it because I've been skipping most of it, but these friendship trainings this round have been really, really bad. There's been like 6 turns so far where there's not any friendship training, and there's been like any of the friendship trainings have just been one. Like I don't know if I've even had one where there's been 2 friendship trainings at once, maybe like 2 or 3 or something. I think I've had a few, like 3 or something. So yeah, we'll do stamina, and let's just hope. Let's hope somehow we get 600 stamina. I at least want to get, if I could get 600 stamina, 600 power, that'd be amazing, but I don't see it happening. We're going to take... We can take the 31 speed, or we can gamble and rest, and then bank on the last 2. I'm just going to gamble, dude. Let's just gamble, rest, and do the last 2. Okay, so first one paid off. We got 2 on this one. We got 36 speed now instead. That's a better turn. But the last turn is what I'm most curious about. Where is this even the last turn? I mean, it's not on the last turn yet. Okay, we'll take these both suck really bad, so we will do the 19 stamina. I don't think we'll actually get... stamina up to 600, but let's pretend it's gonna happen. Maybe we can. If we get really lucky with friendship bonuses, it could happen, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. And this luck, man, that's what I'm telling you about. Look at this, just nothing. We got nothing on stamina or speed. We could do power, I guess. We also look see if there's a G1 race, which there's not. So yeah, the luck's just really not going well on this run, man. It's really, really not. So now it's the next race. I could get the straightaway acceleration, or I can get this thing for the other 5 other runners and then save the points for now and then just see what we got in the URA finale after this one. Also, if we need to, if I felt like we're going to lose this one, we could look at this and see, okay, it's firm ground. It's a left-handed track. We could go back to the skills, and we have this one performance on left-handed tracks, and we could buy that. We can also go in here and look at the predictions, and it looks like I'm a shoo-in to win. So I'm not going to get it, but also we may have to use an alarm clock because it's just Uma Musume, man. It's just how it goes sometimes. So I just want, before I use an alarm clock, I want to see here so everyone can see it. The number one favorite. Okay, if I use an alarm clock, it's not unreasonable. 450 across the board, and I have double the speed, way more power, and the same stamina. My wits and guts suck, so it wouldn't be unreasonable if I lost. I mean, it's still more likely that I win, but it wouldn't be have been unreasonable to have to use an alarm clock there. Oh, and again, it's just terrible training. The training's just been so bad, guys. It's a bad run. But if we wanted to, we could run some G1 races at the end. I don't think we can do 3 in a row. It'd be a bad idea, but if you want more fans or you want more white sparks, you know, you could run them. I'm tempted to run this one and get 16th place, so let's do it. Let's get 16th place as the number one favorite to win. I think that's what's going to happen, because that's what always seems to happen. Number one favorite to win. Okay, we got first. Oh, thank God. They gave us first on an optional race. All right, good. And then finally, a good friendship bonus. Like, look how powerful this is. If you have this happen, like, 8 times or, for God, like 10 times in a run, that could literally get you an A+. Like, that's literally, a lot of people have A+. It's because they had a run where they got this kind of event, like, 10 times. And then, like, 5 times or 3 times, they had one with 3 or more friendship bonuses at once and, like, 70 gains and stuff. That's literally all it takes. You have something like that happen enough times, and then your run is literally an A+. Also, it's been more turns of it's just nothing, guys. There's just nothing. I'm just going to rest on this turn, even though it might be overkill. So, yeah, we're probably not getting stamina to 600 and speed to 1100. I feel like we'll be lucky if we get either one up. I'm just going to go with stamina, though, just because this one's a good training right now. But if just, like, we would have just 5 more friendship trainings, it would have been easy. But, I mean, man, I had 20 turns this run with 0 friendship trainings after we had the friendship levels up. Like, that's how bad it's been. I'm going to get this corner at it because it'll let us get a gold skill. Gold skills get more value in PvP. When they activate, it gives you more points during team trials. So we're going to aim for that one. We got our first URA finale. It's the qualifier, and we should be, like, guaranteed to win this, but maybe not. Our stats aren't as good as they should be, but our stats are still insanely good. Our weakest points weakest points, wits and gut, obviously, but our weakest point on the stats that matter are stamina, really. Okay, we can work towards getting 600 stamina, or we can try to get 1100 speed, because we actually have a good option here. So we're going to go for the 1100 speed, because that gives more points towards the A rank anyway, which we're not going to get an A. We literally cannot get an A rank at this point. How's it going? But let's go for the 1100 speed. That way, if we get a speed spark, we have a good chance of a 3-star. All right, so now we're going to do this one. It's a right-handed race. I wouldn't have been able to buy the right-handed skill for it if I wanted to. And so, semifinal, we're going to view results. First place, which is expected with these stats. We should be, like, guaranteed first place majority of the dice rolls. Okay, so here's the situation. If we get the speed, I think we're good. If we get the stamina, we're not making it anyway. Our friendship with Atsuko is green, so we're not getting any stats from her. Our friendship is, I think, max with the director, so we'll get 15 of each from that. I don't know if we'll hit 1100. It's going to be close. I don't know. We'll see. So if we're feeling scared about this race, we see here it's 1600 meters right-handed, so I can't get the left-handed one, but I could get the standard distance one if I felt scared about it, but I want this golden skill instead. But depending on how many points you have, you could get both. You could look at those things. Those green skills are great for catching up when you're behind on stats or something, but I'm really not behind on stats. I'm in a pretty good spot. Like, these stats are good. Let's see what the number 1 has in this race. So they have basically 500 across the board, and we have over 500 on the ones that matter. We have 1,000 speed, so very likely to win, but we didn't win. Hopefully we can win with enough alarm clocks. It would have been a lot easier to win if I would have had my 600 to 700 stamina. Then it would have been, like, way even more likely, but there we go first. I'd say it was probably about an 80-90% chance of getting first. So as long as you have an alarm clock, you're all right if you're this far behind. But yeah. So let's take a look here. We got the speed stats from winning, which you always get that. And then we got director Atsuko, or not director, just Atsuko. Just the skill points. And then this one, we didn't get the max. We were 1 friendship away from 15. So we didn't get the 15, unfortunately. And then we get the 5 at the end. Let's see if that was enough to hit 1100. Oh, barely. Barely enough for 1100. You can see how easy it would be, though, to do a Sparks run with this to get 1100 speed, 600 stamina, 600 power. We were right there. If I would have just had any reasonable number of friendship trainings, it would have been easy. It actually would have just been easy. Let's go in here and get some skills to close this off, or close it out, I mean. So we're looking for anything that applies to our style, specifically late surger, corner acceleration. We'll just take that. And then this run is... It's not an A, I can tell you that right now. It's a B. It's a B. I don't think it's a B+. I think it's on the high end of B. Let's see, though, what it is and what sparks we ended up getting from this run. So we got... Oh, we got a B+. Barely. Look how I called it. I thought it was a high B. Instead, it was like 39 points, enough to be a B+. We got wit, so it didn't apply to any of our skills. If it would have been power or speed, it would have had a pretty high chance of getting 2 or even 3-star. And we didn't get a lot of white ones. We did some G1 races, but remember the 2 we lost, so we couldn't have gotten the white sparks from those. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, at least. And so overall, it was a horrible, terrible, god-awful, just miserable run. That was a really awful run, but it worked out in the end. I would give that one on luck. I would say that run was 4 out of 10. I definitely had worse. It could have been even worse. It could have been a lot worse, actually, but it could have been a lot better. A lot better. Okay. But yeah, so her career is, I'll be honest, her career is kind of hard. Out of all the Umas I've done so far, I would say I've rated like a 7 out of 10 on difficulty, maybe a 6. Just the way her races are and the way they're back to back and the fact they're mediums and miles, it's a somewhat difficult career. Just the way the pacing is and everything and where the checkpoints are and stuff, it's kind of annoying. But yeah, if you get through it though, then you get through it and then you have vodka. So hopefully this video helped you out, guys. Hopefully you got a better idea how to build for PvP. You know, you want, obviously if you could, 1100 speed, 800 stamina, like 800 power or something like that or better, with as much wit as you could with that. And hopefully all these things I showed you help you to beat the career more consistently, farm sparks there. And hopefully now you have a better idea of how to use vodka in career mode in Uma Musume Pretty Derby.